Have you ever wondered why New Zealand might support the Philippines in a war against China? It seems like a distant possibility. Two island nations on opposite sides of the vast Pacific Ocean, caught in the middle of a rising superpower rivalry. Yet, beneath the surface of this seemingly unlikely scenario lies a web of historical ties, strategic considerations and shared interests that bind Wellington and Manila closer than one might think. New Zealand, despite its geographic isolation, has a long history of punching above its weight in international affairs. From the battlefields of Europe to the peacekeeping missions in the Middle East, the Kiwis have consistently demonstrated their commitment to a rules-based international order and the importance of collective security. The Philippines, on the other hand, finds itself on the front lines of a more immediate challenge, assertive actions from China in the South China Sea. While New Zealand might not deploy troops or engage in direct military confrontation with China, its support for the Philippines could take various forms. From providing diplomatic backing in international forums to increasing its naval presence in the region, New Zealand has a range of options to signal its commitment to the Philippines and send a clear message to Beijing. The seeds of a potential New Zealand-Philippines partnership in the face of Chinese assertiveness are found in the annals of history. Both nations share a common experience as former colonies of European powers and understand the importance of safeguarding their independence and sovereignty. This shared history has fostered a sense of camaraderie and a recognition of the need for collective action in the face of external threats. Moreover, New Zealand and the Philippines have stood shoulder to shoulder in previous conflicts. Both countries contributed troops to the Korean War and the Vietnam War, demonstrating their willingness to fight for democracy and freedom far from their shores. These shared sacrifices have forged a bond of trust and mutual respect between the two nations. The spirit of solidarity extends beyond the battlefield. New Zealand played a vital role in the aftermath of Typhoon Haiyan, which devastated the Philippines in 2013. The swift and generous assistance provided by New Zealand, from deploying medical teams to providing logistical support, showcased the depth of compassion and commitment to their Filipino friends. Geography plays a crucial role in understanding the strategic considerations underpinning a potential New Zealand-Philippines partnership. Both countries are island nations, heavily reliant on maritime trade and vulnerable to disruptions in sea lanes of communication. The South China Sea, a vital artery of global trade, is a particular area of concern. China's increasing assertiveness in the South China Sea, including its expansive maritime claims and militarization of artificial islands, poses a direct threat to the Philippines' sovereignty and maritime rights. New Zealand, with its own interests in upholding international law and freedom of navigation, views these developments with growing unease. Furthermore, both countries recognize that instability in the South China Sea has ramifications far beyond the region. It threatens to undermine the rules-based international order that has underpinned global peace and prosperity for decades. The potential for conflict in the region also raises concerns about the safety and security of sea lanes vital for global trade, which could have significant economic repercussions for countries like New Zealand. Beyond historical ties and shared strategic concerns, New Zealand and the Philippines enjoy a warm and multifaceted relationship. Regular high-level diplomatic exchanges and robust people-to-people ties underscore the depth of the bilateral relationship. The two countries collaborate closely on a range of issues, including trade, development assistance, and climate change. New Zealand is home to a vibrant Filipino community, which contributes significantly to the country's social, cultural, and economic fabric. This diaspora serves as a strong bridge between the two nations, fostering closer ties and understanding. The presence of a large Filipino community in New Zealand also highlights the human dimension of the strategic equation, as any conflict involving the Philippines would have a direct impact on New Zealand citizens. The two countries also share common values such as democracy, human rights, and the rule of law. These shared values provide a solid foundation for cooperation and understanding, particularly in the face of challenges to the rules-based international order. The convergence of values makes it more likely that New Zealand would find common cause with the Philippines in the event of a conflict with China. In this section, we delve into a balancing act, walking the tightrope. New Zealand's potential support for the Philippines in a conflict with China should be viewed within the broader context of its foreign policy. Wellington faces a delicate task of balancing its close economic relationship with China, its largest trading partner, with its commitment to regional security and a rules-based order. This balancing act requires careful diplomacy and a nuanced approach. On one hand, New Zealand cannot ignore the economic realities of its relationship with China. China is a vital market for New Zealand's exports, and its investment plays a significant role in the country's economy. Any action perceived as hostile by Beijing could have serious economic consequences for New Zealand. On the other hand, New Zealand cannot simply stand by and watch as China challenges the regional order and threatens the security of its partners like the Philippines. To do so would undermine New Zealand's credibility as a reliable partner and its commitment to the values it espouses. It would also set a dangerous precedent for other countries in the region, potentially emboldening China to act more assertively. In Section 6, when economies intertwine, we explore the economic dimension of New Zealand's potential support for the Philippines. While China is a major trading partner, New Zealand also has significant economic ties with Southeast Asia, including the Philippines. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, of which the Philippines is a founding member, is New Zealand's fourth largest trading partner. Moreover, New Zealand recognizes that a stable and prosperous Southeast Asia is in its own economic interests. A conflict in the South China Sea would have severe repercussions for regional trade and investment, with negative spillover effects on the global economy. New Zealand has a vested interest in preventing such a scenario. Furthermore, New Zealand is a strong supporter of the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, or CPTPP, a free trade agreement that includes Japan, Australia, Canada, and several Southeast Asian nations, including Vietnam. The CPTPP is seen as a counterweight to China's growing economic influence in the region, and a way to promote free trade and open markets based on rules, not power. In Section 7, Beyond the Battlefield, we consider how New Zealand's support for the Philippines in a potential conflict with China would extend beyond the military or economic spheres. Wellington could also play a vital role in shaping international opinion and mobilizing diplomatic pressure against Beijing. New Zealand's reputation as a principled and independent voice on the global stage gives it significant moral authority. New Zealand could use its position on the United Nations Security Council, where it holds a non-permanent seat until 2025, to raise awareness about the situation in the South China Sea and rally international support for the Philippines. It could also work with like-minded countries to impose targeted sanctions on Chinese individuals and entities involved in activities that undermine regional peace and stability. Furthermore, New Zealand could leverage its close relationships with key players like the United States, Australia, and the United Kingdom to coordinate a united response to Chinese assertiveness. While New Zealand may not participate in joint military exercises or deployments, it could provide logistical support and intelligence sharing to its partners. China's response to any perceived New Zealand support for the Philippines would likely be swift and multifaceted. Beijing has repeatedly warned other countries against interfering in what it considers its internal affairs, particularly in the South China Sea. It has also shown a willingness to use economic coercion and diplomatic pressure to punish countries that challenge its interests. China could retaliate against New Zealand by imposing trade barriers, such as tariffs or import restrictions on key exports like dairy products, meat, and timber. It could also discourage Chinese tourists from visiting New Zealand or limit Chinese investment in the country. These actions would have a significant impact on the New Zealand economy. Beyond economic measures, China could also engage in a campaign of diplomatic pressure and public criticism. It could recall its ambassador from Wellington, cancel high-level visits, and use its state-controlled media to portray New Zealand as a puppet of the United States. or a country that disrespects China's core interests. Despite the potential risks and challenges, New Zealand's support for the Philippines in a potential conflict with China is not without its benefits. By taking a principled stand, New Zealand would reaffirm its commitment to a rules-based international order, strengthen its relationship with the Philippines and other like-minded countries, and enhance its own security and resilience. Moreover, New Zealand's actions could help deter further Chinese assertiveness in the region by demonstrating that such behavior comes at a cost. It would also send a powerful message to other countries in Southeast Asia and beyond that they do not have to face Chinese pressure alone. Ultimately, New Zealand's decision on how to respond to a potential conflict between the Philippines and China will be based on a careful calculation of its national interests and values. However, the historical ties, shared strategic concerns and common values that bind Wellington and Manila suggest that New Zealand would be a steadfast partner to the Philippines in its hour of need. As tensions rise in the Indo-Pacific, New Zealand finds itself at a crossroads. Balancing its economic reliance on China with its commitment to regional stability and the security of its partners is no easy feat. Choosing between its largest trading partner and its long-held values will require deft diplomacy and a nuanced understanding of the geopolitical landscape. The potential for conflict in the South China Sea presents New Zealand with a stark choice: remain silent and prioritize economic interests, or raise its voice and risk economic retaliation. The path New Zealand chooses will have profound implications for its future, shaping its relationships in the region and its standing on the global stage. The international community will be watching closely as New Zealand navigates this complex geopolitical challenge. Its response will serve as a litmus test for other middle powers facing similar dilemmas, demonstrating whether smaller nations can uphold their principles in the face of pressure from a rising superpower. The unfolding geopolitical drama in the Indo-Pacific is a story that will continue to unfold in the years to come. New Zealand's role in this evolving narrative remains to be fully written, but its choices will undoubtedly shape the future of the region and the wider international order. Staying informed about these developments is crucial for understanding the complexities of the challenges facing New Zealand and the world. Engaging in thoughtful discussions about these issues is essential for fostering a more peaceful and prosperous future for all. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of New Zealand's potential role in a complex geopolitical scenario. To delve deeper into the intricacies of China's rise and its implications for the global order, I encourage you to subscribe and continue exploring such intriguing geopolitical dynamics. Don't miss out on future explorations and discoveries. Hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay updated with our new content. Your journey of wonder continues with every video. Stay connected and engaged on social media. Continue the conversation, follow us. Thank you for being a part of the Have You Ever Wondered community. Keep wondering, keep discovering. Until next time.